Hello and welcome to the D.R.W S, the Duluth, Red Wing, and St. Paul clay train. And so this is going to be the first real official episode. And so let's get going. All right, so here we go. And in the workshop, I don't have the board down yet. We'll get that down so you can see what's going on. A few notes in the intro, you'll see one of the D.R.W S, which is the Duluth, Red Wing, and St. Paul clay train in Red Wing, the Red Wing, Minnesota clay train. It's called the clay train because they made Red Wing pottery. And if you see on the intro, I actually hold up a Red Wing pot that was made in the Red Wing pottery plant. It's a real old pot. Lori likes to collect them. And then there's another shot. It looks like a faucet, but there's a sewer pipe that's a broken piece that I actually got out of the where the sewer pipe factory was. I actually picked that up in the woods of broken pieces they had in Red Wings. So that's kind of my little collectible. I got a couple sewer pipe pieces because there was a whole woods full of them. It was amazing. And you can tell by the color of the clay that it's kind of that same color as the clay pot. So there's a little history there if you watch the pictures, and you'll see that. One of the reasons why when we lived in Red Wing, it was such a cute little town, old, and Lori liked the pottery so much, and just so fitting. I like trains, and she likes trains now too. So just fitting to build that. And I started doing research when I lived there, going in the library, plot books, and actually my father-in-law, while he was still flying, actually flew me around. So I had aerial shots of where you could kind of see where the clay train, where the right-of-ways were actually at, mostly because of the overgrowth of trees. And so I got all kinds of stuff that I can show you with research of doing that. So in this episode, I'm going to kind of show you where I'm at so far with the layout. I'm going to show you where I'm at with this goofy board. If you saw my shorts, I'm still trying to figure out how to balance it. But I'll show you what it looks like down, and it makes it easier to work with. I can work with it outside on sawhorses. Actually, I got the horses here. But what happens is, if it's windy, like today, it's actually windy, because the foam is so light, stuff starts blowing around. So it'd be ideal more to work with it right in here. And also for shooting it works better right in here because then it's not so bright. So that'll be the show, the #1 show for the development. Oh, and I'm modeling it in N scale. And in N scale, things are a lot smaller. So like, this is the size of one of the box cars. So you can see, if you got smaller box cars and track, you don't need as big a space to build it in. So it's N scale is what I'm working with. So let me move the camera like I usually do on my cigar boxes, and try to get this board down to show you what we got, and kind of show you how far I've advanced already. I've gotten tracks in, and I've gotten stuff, as you've seen in those other little short videos, and a little bit on my Premiere, how I cut some of the foam out, so you'll be able to see, get a better clue of what the actual layout's going to look like. So let me get that down. I'm going to save you the painstakingness of, oh no, I'll get it all down and have it sitting down. I made a nice board to put across so it'll sit like right up here. It'll be right in here. So let me get that going for you, and then we'll get started. All right, so I'm back. It wasn't pretty coming down. I had a few bobbles, but I got it down. It's kind of, right now you can see it's kind of high. As you can see, I started getting, I'm laying the tracks out. It gets disheveled but as you can see, it's up here. This would be the upper part. It'd be nice to get it as high as this desk, a little lower. But I have to figure that out. I'm trying to get this part to work better. But you can see I got my flex tracks in here. I did get a bunch of the switches, and we're starting to lay them out. I'll give you a pan across it. You can see underneath here, my arm's in the way. Underneath here, pan, I got the curved tracks that I have to lay out before I put all this down, and then there'll be tracks up on top of here. So basically I got everything cut out and I'm ready to start laying tracks. I got more curves. I got flexi track. This will take 2 flexi tracks. So this is what I'm working with right now. But as you can see, it's up to my shoulders. I'd like to have it down here. The workbench here, and I'll pan it here. See, the workbench here is more my height, but I'll give you a little monkey cam here. As you can see as I go across it. And I'll pull out. That's it, kind of sitting down. So, that's what I'm dealing with. So if anybody else has any other ideas, I'd like to get it a little lower. I've got room, but because this bench will move that way. I've got room in between here. If I could get it down to get it even on horses. As you can see, I jury-rigged over here. I jury-rigged a piece of wood between that workbench to hold it. But if I could get something to hold it a little lower, because these can move out of the way, and then I can get it down here to work on. So what I'm doing next is getting just all the track laid out, and when I get the track laid out, I'm debating whether I'm going to solder them and lay them down and then sketch them and then start putting, and then the other thing I'm working on is sealing this up, but I don't think I have to do that with the plaster. I think I should be able to glue this track on. I might just do the edges so they're not, as you can see, this stuff is, it peels. This whole piece here, actually this, you can't see it. Let me bend you down a little bit. This piece right here comes off of it. The frame is what is hooked up to the wheels, this frame here. So, and then this all comes apart. I can pull pieces off like this. Nothing's glued down yet. So I got room to work. It's just a matter of perfecting my work area. The one bad thing is when I pull it down, I can't get that way. I block my aisle, but that's no problem. If I was able to get it down, I probably would set up horses over here. I don't know if you can see that. I need a wider camera angle. I'd probably set up worse is over here, so I could still get through there. But yeah, that's the development. As you can see, I put in this foam. These pieces were all cut out. These pieces right here were all cut out of foam, out of this foam right here, but it was too thick when I got down here. So I'm using this thinner stuff, and I've got that thinner stuff blocked off as well. So it'll stand up and make a little bit of a creek here, and there'll be a curve, there'll be a bridge going across there. I still need to put some supports in here, and maybe on this corner will be a tunnel. So yeah, there's some work to do, but I got all my left and right turnouts in, and I kind of laid them out around. I've got 4 of them down here, 2 here, and 1 over here on this little yard. So that's the development so far. This is the birth of the Red Wing clay train. Kind of the layout, and I'll have more details as we go, is that cutoff part when I was showing you the other part is going to be the Mississippi. So I'm going to have to slope it down over. This will be Red Wing, and the downtown actually kind of slopes down to the river. So I'm going to have to develop the river somehow. And it might not even be as low as I've got it right now. And I might have to build it up and put the plaster in so that it's a little higher up in comparison to the town. But that's very doable with foam and that plaster stuff, and still keep it really light. So the Mississippi River is going to be right there. I do have to build a barn bluff right there, which is right in downtown Red Wing. I do have a spur track coming this way. Not sure what I'm going to do with that. Right here, right down here is going to be like a bank, and there's going to be a spur track coming in here. And I think this will be where clay banks will be, right here, either here or here. I haven't totally decided yet. The pottery factory, there'll be a lot of tracks in here. The Red Wing pottery factory will be right down in this area, because even by the surf line factory, there was creeks and stuff down there. So it'll be down in here. I can't think of the town. Goodhue and these other towns will be kind of on those, hooked up with curves, so the thing will go all the way around. But that's the D.R.W. St. Paul, the D.R.W.S. clay train layout in its first formation, so you can see how it's going. All right, so I hope you enjoyed the first installment of the D.R.W.S. clay train. I'll be bringing it to you on the Dutchman in San Marcos channel, so it'll be the Red Wing clay train, aka Dutchman in San Marcos, will be kind of how we call it out, and more episodes to come. I'm going to be posting this one at noon, so that way you can watch my 11 o'clock cigar box guitar one if you've been following that, or if you just want to watch this one. It's purely up to you. Check them both out. It'll be both kind of just different content. So we'll just switch content by the titles of when it comes on, and you'll see that. And so I hope you enjoy this series.